What? Me streaming live? That's impossible. Hi guys, welcome. Welcome back to Tahiti. Well, we are turning up Tahiti. We're going to come up with better puns for this concept somehow. It'll be fine, I am sure. I am sure nothing bad can happen from me dropping terrible puns out here in the world. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Welcome in. Hello, Liam. I'm good. How are you? We are. Everyone big is streaming right now. I've chosen a poor time to be live. Jesus. Tony, Z, and Sai up live at the same time. Oof, stiff competition. Good and bad. I'm sorry to hear there are bad things happening, Liam. I hope it all works itself out. We are hopefully going to have some action-packed times to keep your mind off of things, though, because, well, we're into the league season now, so we can start building Tahiti into something special adjacent. Or at least picking up an easy second trophy. Good being we can play Man City away, and bad Finley Monroe got recalled. I mean, that's... I actually haven't looked at the FA Cup draw, but Finn Monroe being recalled was sort of inevitable. I kind of saw it coming. He has been somewhat beastly. Why can't I just see the draw? Why will no one just show me the FA Cup draw? There we go. Well, to be fair, we're going to beat Salford, so that's fine. City away is easy, honestly. Pep doesn't know what's going to hit him. At least the Pox are going to get knocked out by Sunderland. That makes me happy. And to be honest, that should be a TV game if we get through, so that's a good start. Otherwise, though, it's not much in the way of, like, potentially big giant killers. Like, Wigan aren't going to beat Arsenal. That's not going to happen. And Macclesfield might get past Brentford, but I got doubts. Grimsby could beat Wolves, but that's not really a giant killing because everyone can beat Wolves at this point. So, you know, it is what it is. But hey, we get to go to Manchester City, which is nice. Fancy a little trip to the Etihad. I've just realised with this league that because none of the second teams can get promoted, we are technically currently third after one game, which is good. I'd like to win the league outright, obviously, but we are technically third. But obviously this league, bit unknown, bit random. To be fair, very unknown, very random. I'm also reliably informed by Google when I was making the thumbnail. This isn't the Gliss Club's actual badge. It's just something someone made up on one of the FM sites. But do I feel like doing the whole making a replacement graphic? Not massively. Right, we've got a game. Let's go see our team in action, shall we? We've got some players. Do I need to replace any bench players to balance this out? I can't imagine a reason why I would want two right wingers on the bench, so I guess we'll put Poli on there. No idea if he's any good, but he can play on the left wing and he can play as a central midfielder, so that works for me. And I probably want a defensive mid on there. Just thinking, do I want a left back? I probably do. Let's put Bro in there. That'll do us. That'll work nicely. Let's go see if this team we've put together is any good against AS Dragon 2, who are the second team of the champions, I believe. So they could be a challenge. We'll find out. They could also not be a challenge. Hello, Charlies. I've got absolutely no confusion over whether or not you're Charlie or not. You're not even trying anymore, bud. Not even trying. Right, let's carry on with the game whilst Charlie tries to figure out his choices. Right, Marseille, what are we going to do here? We are going to win with Marseille scoring goals. That's what's going to occur. And we're going to go do it now. That's the big plan. Right, underway. Underway is what's happening. Okay, right, we are underway, and Marseille has not scored. What's really funny is that Charlie thinks I can't see that he's just changed the name on the account. Such a wonderful lack of understanding of how that works. Charlie was Scott yesterday. Which is a great time. Love when a name randomly changes like we're not going to notice. Right, Sing on the ball. Let's get a goal, please. Or any of our players getting a goal would be fine, to be honest. It's not going well, this. We're not looking like a team that scores goals. Fournier has scored against us. We do not look like a team that scores goals. At all, which is troubling. I don't know how we've ended up in Tahiti with a team that can't score goals. It's really quite worrying. I might need to find some kind of tactic, because otherwise we'll be in real trouble. But doesn't look very good. Our inability to find any strikers that can score goals in this league seems to be out of place. Guglielmo has scored. He's about to leave us. So, even though he scored in our last 2 games, we can't rely on him for goals. I don't know who we're relying on for goals once he goes, because our whole season is basically hanging on one fella who is not going to be here by the end of the season. And that's very much a problem. Very much a problem. Like, we just need to get a run of goal scoring going, and we are golden. But we're not there yet. Come on, Saeed is through. Play across goal. Oh, Jesus Christ. Someone play it across goal. Don't know, I'm less than convinced by this team so far. It still needs some work, it still needs some building. Still needs some extra something on it. I don't know what it is, apart from like trying to figure out how we get the ball into the box for the goal scoring. Like, I know FM26 responds to you chucking 12 people up top, like, but I don't want to play like that. Yo, go, oh, we've got 2 goals, it's okay, we're saved. We're saved, we've found another person who knows how to score a goal. Unfortunately, he was assisted by the guy that's leaving, so that doesn't really help us. Doesn't really help us at all. But, you know, we'll figure out eventually. To be fair, Marseille's not had a bad game. He just hasn't scored, and I just want a striker to score a goal for us so that we can start feeling a bit more like we're doing things. It's really where we're at with this so far. As half-time is slowly approaching, I just realised this camera angle doesn't like me when I'm streaming. I don't know why. Maybe I knocked it whilst I was doing things earlier. Who knows? I'll try and sit up as well, like a grown-up. That'll help. Payet is on the ball to Guglino to Dupierre. Guglino's got another assist. So our real problem is that we need to replace Guglino, because once he leaves, we're going to stop scoring goals forever. And as much as we do only need to finish like 5th to win, to get promoted, I'd rather we do it the right way. Because, you know, just so we look better going up. Right, we're happy with, yeah, we'll just go with that, that's fine. Let's get underway. Let's get more goals, please. That would be nice. Ideally from a striker. We haven't actually seen a striker score for us yet, I don't think. In fact, I know we haven't seen a striker score for us yet. We've just seen goals from midfielders. Right, Guglino, come on, set up a striker. When does the transfer window open and close? Because it's different. I think it is an October one, I think. We'll have a look in a sec. The thing is, if we stay at a club, like if we stay in, because I've got the same thing in Suriname on the video we're doing in Suriname. If you get to a point where you've developed the nation and the finances enough to take advantage of it, you can really take advantage of that, because players be going cheap once European clubs can't buy and sell, and Charlie thinks it's already open and closed on the 2nd of February, which is a wild piece of information to just have at your fingertips. Pozo can go in there. We'll find out. We'll see if Charlie's right in a second. We've got some very unprofessional players because they're all complacent. Now we've gone 3 goals up. It's not terribly helpful. I want people who can get the job done. And if necessary, we'll just replace players for fitness. But I'd rather replace players for, you know, talent, game-changing. I want them to look alive when they come on the pitch, is really what I'm saying. Right, Delobel off for petty gas. Having a little gas seems a little bit unfair. Marseille, you aren't a goal scorer. Collis, go in, score a goal. Liam's going to get put in charge of replacing Dupierre. And I think we'll take off Payet for, honestly, it's going to be Foster, and we'll just swap Pozo to right back. Problem solved. Good, let's go. Let's get goal number 4. And see what we can achieve with this change, or these changes. As happy as I would be if Liam scored from open play, I'd be even happier if we had a striker that scored. Jesus Christ, Payet. That's probably why you're coming off, mate. I'll be honest. Because you do silly stuff like that. Let's praise everyone. Let's see if we can get them away from looking complacent at least. Just to switch things up. Guglino's taking a corner. He's going to get a third assist of the game, maybe? No, of course not. Back to Guglino. Will he get his third assist now? Cuts it back to a defender. Excellent stuff. Well played. Right, Liam gets a touch to Collis. Guglino's through. He's won a corner for us. And let's see if we can turn that into... We can't... We're doing it again on stats. Just dominating and not converting. Like, if we could turn these into the scorelines they should be, we'd be doing stupid well. Right, we'll say that was good. I'm not convinced it was, but we'll say it was good. And then we'll play a game of, is Charlie correct on the transfer window dates? We're in October now. The window is closed. It is not open, so that was a lie, wasn't it? That was a lie that we were told. When does it open again? Ah, well, that was stupid. So, good. Good stuff. Excellent, there we go, problem solved, and then that's that solved as well. Excellent, right. Transfer windows, we have got, Liam, 4th of July to the 3rd of September, 23rd of December to the 8th of January. So we've got a window opening in about 2 weeks, but they are still semi-convenient windows. We're also in provisional promotion, which is good. To be fair, there's no one of any real note who wants to come anyway. So we've got this Swedish fella who brings tall-ish, but otherwise there's nothing like I'm desperate to sign anyway right now. So we're pretty much where we're going to be. I see our scouting budget has been depleted. We'll chuck our transfer budget into scouting. That will help us out. That will help us out, and then we've got a game against another B team coming up. I don't know which B team. There's no way of hovering to find out, but someone's B team is our next opponent, and then we play Tafana, who are a serious club. We're playing Jeunes Tahitians B, or seconds, which is fine. The young Tahitians, presumably they can only sign Tahitian players, otherwise they'd be really pointless. That would be my logical assumption. I'm glad you've agreed that deal. Good. Excellent. Right. Let's have a little look at some strikers. Let's be serial for a second. Do we have a striker that I can look at and go, that fella is going to get some goals? So Marseille, 12 finishing, 9 composure, 50. He should get some goals. He should be a goals guy. Keller, less so. Gaillard has scored for us, but dubious. Collis, he should be. He's from Gibraltar. He should be fine. Liam the second could actually be a shout for a goal scorer. If we just get that composure up, and maybe that pace, that's really letting him down. De Hay, no. Amestoy, not really. I'm looking at Amestoy and I'm just thinking, why are we keeping him? He's not costing us any money, so he can stay for now. Thierbaud brings nothing. Bouchard should be able to get goals, but he's not very good elsewhere. Trying to think, where will we find a striker? 15, yeah, that's the thing. It's 15 finishing, which is great. But 5 composure, 4 stamina, 7 pace. 1 determinant. I need to set up some mentoring, don't I? That's going to help. Although it's going to end up with me getting stressed at the buggy mentoring, but we'll live with it. Which mentoring group did that put Liam as the second in? Not that one. To put him in any. There we go. Both Liams are learning from Junior Singh. What does Junior Singh do well? Be slightly determined. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that will help. It's one of those, I don't want to risk putting him on in the first team until I start getting the impression that he's definitely a goal scorer. So at the moment it's just that composure really is a worry. It's not unsalvageable, it's just a bit of a nightmare. But while I'm here, let's put that on double intensity as well. Because if we're only training twice a week, we're going to make it the best twice a week of the year. Sure, that means we're doing some kind of drills. It does look like twice a week training, and then whatever that is. Are we going to be able to get us further up the table? That's the real question. Like, I'm thinking, can I loan in like a good young Brazilian striker? Like someone stupid quick with good finishing. It's going to be a little bit tough, but not impossible, just tough. I guess a Serie B player would be good enough to be here. Do you have a striker for loan? Maybe. His contract is expiring. He doesn't want to join us. Let's look at the other 90, or the other reserve side, shall we? Oh, we can't do that in this league. Of course we can't. That'd be too easy, wouldn't it? You don't have any strikers, which I guess is a decision you've taken. We looked at that one, at Ponte Preta. Portuguesa. Nope, nothing in their reserves. You're retiring, which is sad. Could we persuade him not to retire? He's from Armenia as well. How weird is that? Ipiranga. Solanas. He's Uruguayan. Loan? Okay, no loan. It's weird how few of these clubs seem to have anyone available for loan. Like, you'd think they'd want to send people somewhere, especially because they're about to go into a winter break. You'd think they'd be crazy desperate to get some of their players out on loan. Saint Water. Owie. Striker? Let's have a look. This feels like I'm wasting time. Especially because I know nothing about any of these players, but it feels like I'm wasting time. Is there anyone in your under 20s? No one who is old enough to move on loan, which is particularly annoying. Shushinya? No. Alright, well, let's have a little look while we're here at, I was going to go into Australia that way. Let's have a look and see what's happening with the Australian teams, because you never know what we might find available for loan from Australia. I mean, it is the nearest sort of major league, so not impossible. Do I want to look at the youth or want to look at the reserves? Do they have any? They do have players. Because, like, if we get a few Australians to pop over, that wouldn't hurt. Especially if they don't care where I'm going to play them. He can play as a striker. He's an international. We'll have him. We won't have him. They said no. But this fella can play as a striker. They do want money for him, and I don't have any. Can we go through the rest of these players? Auckland youths. Have Auckland got any youths that we can loan? Oh, there are strikers here. There are some cheeky. Brock Kenyon. Brock, but are you? No? No. A lot of their players who look like they could be decent are also quite short, which isn't going to help us much. Let's have a look at the NPL Brisbane. Oh, Kai Thompson, you're not tall, but are you of value? Let's try him out. Let's try him out. Why not? Okay, we're not trying him out. Right, you seem to know how to score a goal because you've done it once this season, but you don't want to join me, which is fine. You're a big centre half, which wouldn't hurt us at all. We'll just keep having a check. Hey Simon, how are you doing? We're currently shopping Australia for some possible strikers on loan. This is my latest brainwave to try and get a striker scoring goals, because we've just gone through yet another game where nobody who is paid to score goals has been able to do that. I mean, we won it, but you know, you've got to set a standard. Oh, hello. A 6'4" centre half. I don't mind if I do, thank you. It is an issue. It's a real problem. We've scored a lot. We scored a lot of goals in that last game, but we didn't score any of them but with a striker. And like, I know it's possible to get a striker scoring because I've done it. But considering we're supposed to be the best team in the Tahitian second tier by a mile, the fact that we're not scoring goals is something I find bothersome. So we'll have a little poach through Australia. I might take a cheeky 6'6" goalkeeper while I'm here, because I don't see a good reason not to. And a 6'3" centre half. And if they're just giving them away, then it would actually be rude not to pick them up. Oh. So you've not scored any goals. But there's something fun about having a Kiwi striker. None of these players are very big. So real problem is that none of these players in Australia's sort of development systems seem... This guy's just called Mitch. Oh, we've got to get him on loan because he only has one name. Just won the Irish League with hot and cold strikers, so it's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. It's just... I feel like because we are on paper so much better than every other team, the fact that we're not scoring goals through a striker strikes me as a red flag. If that makes sense, like it tells me there's an issue there because we should be getting so many chances that it's physically impossible for them to not score. So we may as well do a bit of a rack and stack. Oliver Cockle? Shouldn't you be on a beach? God, the shit I'm going to get if Cockle doesn't get picked. Right, we're nearly there. Oh, 2 6'4" centre halves, yes. Jack, how are you, bud? Welcome to chat. He may have muscles, it's true. Cockles may have muscles. It's going to sound odd out of context. Simon's on a 25 stream streak. Congratulations / thank you, whichever response is appropriate. Jack's bare now at a shower of shite if a football match is over. What have you been watching, Jack? Because I have not watched any football today. What disaster has happened today? I haven't really seen any scorings. Liverpool versus Barnsley. Was it that bad? I think you need to look at the positive. The one positive is that Florian Wirtz scored a goal. I should look at the Barnsley goal. If it will let me. Which is 50-50. Let me look at... It will sort of let me look at the... That one? For some reason it won't play on the TNT Sports website. Odd. Let's see. Does... Save is going fine. Oh, hang on. There's a Reddit that seems to have some goals. Let's see. Bear with, we're having a little look. Liverpool 3, Barnsley. Come on, let's look at those in order. New. Why? So the best place I can find to find a highlight seems to be on Reddit. So let's have a look. Just seems to be lots of people posting Szoboszlai's goal. There's got to be an easier way to find the highlights than this. LED consider information exchange most of their goals coming from Lana and Nael Sigin, who prior to the 4-2-3-1 with as a box-to-box had 2 goals in 133 games. Fair. Sigin may not be as sustainable at all. That is fair. I cannot find these highlights. I know why I can't find these highlights. Why don't I just do what I should have done in the first place and look on bloody Twitter? If the goals will be anywhere, they'll be on Twitter, won't they? Because that tends to be how that goes. That tends to be how that goes. Oh, the one almost highlight was there. Come on, buddy. Where are they? Took me 3 seconds to see boobs on Twitter. That's a new record. Don't know what that had to do with the Liverpool game, but there we go. That's an old video. Oh, hang on, I found it. I found it. Bear with, I have found. Let's have a look at this here goal that I can't show because we're on YouTube as well. Jesus Christ. If you're offended at that on FM, I'll pop the link in the chat for everyone who's not seen this. If your defender did that on FM, you'd sell him immediately, wouldn't you? Like, he wouldn't even still be in your squad by the time he'd showered. That's poor. I don't think I've ever seen worse defending, and I've watched England for years. Yeah, that was piss poor. Anyway, we are as for the save, we're currently trying to find a goal scorer because we're lacking one, and my greatest idea so far is essentially to look for anyone who looks vaguely competent and or tall playing in New Zealand. Sorry, playing in Australia's reserve league, because it should be slightly better than the second tier of Tahiti, which means we should get someone who is any good. That's it. That is contract termination. Was it? Justin Cardoso is 5'9". He's probably not the goal scorer I'm looking for. Any giant defenders for loan? I've got a giant defender. He's not available for loan. We must be running out of teams in Australia now. Wellington Phoenix. It's not strictly a team in Australia, of course. They are very much a team in New Zealand, but the point stands. Oh, you're out for 7. Actually, 7 weeks might bring us up to the window. Can I attract them? Yes. Finding them is the problem, because we just don't have a scouting budget, which is why I'm just going through the youth system of Australia club by club, because I figure they're the nearest big country to Tahiti, so they're the logical place to go shopping for loans. But are we finding anything? Hard to tell. Friendly versus PSV. Lucia Kendall producing a goal with Motivar as the assist player. Chappelle's disappeared as a solo striker. Fair? Well, you score goals and you've got two surnames, so you're both posh and goal scorery. What are your finances looking like for second tier of Tahiti football? I haven't looked yet for fear that I'll cry. I'm sort of known around these parts for being a bit of a financial manager. And I've semi-deliberately not looked yet because I know it's going to be a financial situation I can't do anything about. Like, we're just going to be hemorrhaging cash. Like, we're 12 grand down. Looks like, even with non-contract, there's not a lot I can do about it. Like, we're going to lose £135,000 this year. And realistically, even if we were to win this league, we don't get any prize money. I don't even know if there's prize money in the top league, to be honest. There's a little bit, but like, we're going to lose £135,000 this year. And even if we won the top flight, we get 18,000 in prize money. The same way as Talk Meadow was a bit intense. Yeah. Must be hard because not even FA Cup. That's true. Mayangno disappears an assist from my star striker. Not exactly what I expect from it. I'm sure they've done some kind of update that's nerfed strikers. I say this as well because I've just recorded another episode of the Supermarine series, and goal scoring must have become harder because Frankie Monk at this stage, and we're quite near the end of the season, has only got 17 goals. That's how you know things are broken. Could you qualify for the Club World Cup? Yes. If we win the OFC Champions League, we qualify for the Club World Cup. There was a team from Tahiti not so many years ago that did that. I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Venus? Let's ask Google. AS Pirai got... Oh no, that wasn't AS... Hang on. World Club Cup. Come on. Oh yeah, it was. It was AS Pirai who qualified for the Club World Cup back in today. They're currently bottom of the top flight, so they might not be doing it this year. But yeah, they are a team that has played in the Club World Cup. It is technically possible for us to win a Club World Cup from Tahiti. But we'd have to spend about 40 seasons here, which would get quite repetitive. There's a reason when you watch FM content with like rebuilds and stuff on YouTube, there's a reason that as content creators we spend quite a lot of that on holiday, is because you would just get bored shitless. So this is the Journeyman. We're on our fourth club. We're kind of bouncing around the world trying to build a career for ourselves. We left Scotland earlier this week because things were frustrating. In terms of, on the basis of XG, we should have absolutely walked that league. In fact, can I still show you XG from last year? I don't know if I can. That's in the wrong order. Can I have that in the right order? Thank you. So, will it let me show that? Just to demonstrate what I mean. No. Basically, we were managing Dumbarton, and on XG, we should have absolutely pissed this league. But for some reason, we couldn't get anyone to score any goals. Is that it? That's this season. It says it's last season, but that can't be right. It's not right. Feel like with clubs and school leagues, they should have a decent account. It's virtually impossible to make any money or win anything. Yes and no. Yes and no. I have done it, but it's a lot of work. Okay, it really is a lot of work. I think we're going to try putting Liam the second up top, just because he's got good finishing. If I can find Liam the second... Where is Liam the second gone? There we go. Just to see if Liam the second can score, because we're going to create a load of chances in this game. So it's kind of a good test of, is our strikers broken? How do you stop injuries from happening so often as well in poor leagues? There won't be any fans of this league watching, trust. There won't be any fans of this league. Rest your players between games is the simple answer. I mean, I've got a massive squad, so I'm not worried too much. But if you rest your players between games, you'll reduce injuries. If you take advantage of the breaks in the calendar, like you'll often find there are 2 weeks between matches, send players on holiday for a week. Little things like that will prevent your injuries. But yeah, I've got a lot of history of playing in random leagues like this. Like if you head over to the YouTube, which has probably popped up at some stage while you've been in chat, on FM24 I did a challenge save really, in San Marino, in the San Marino League, where I won a European trophy using just the youth team. Largely because Zealand said on his channel that you couldn't win any trophies, or you couldn't win a European trophy with a San Marinese team, and I wanted to prove him wrong. Feels like you either sacrifice match shots or fitness. That's what. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, I like to have, like, if I've got big gaps, I'll play a lot of friendlies. Like, if I've got a gap of 2 weeks between fixtures, what I'll do is I'll send anyone that's been playing on holiday for a week, and then I'll play a friendly in between. Introduced 2 players, one of them, Chloe Pelissier, was around in season 1, but often on loan. Lydia Ferron, Academy product brought in for European competition for homegrown equipment against PSV. 2 actually look solid. Ferron should probably have been called up last season. Fair. We all have that moment occasionally. Hindsight is 20. See, we're dominating again and we're not scoring. Hindsight is always 2020. How are we dominating this much? Let's work the ball. Let's try working the ball into the box. Let's see if that works. If we put a striker on the ball, it's very possible they can score a goal. We'll find out. I mean, if that was him shooting, I don't want him ever trying that again. Do you have to abuse the free agent market for teams like this? Is it mainly youth academy? Both. What I tend to find is, for reasons unknown, Junior Singh scores. For reasons unknown in leagues like this, we tend to find that scouts are watching a lot of lower league South American football for some reason, even if you've got them set to scouting just your country. So we've got guys like Guglino who've popped up on our scout report. He's from Argentina, but he popped up. So it is a bit like that, and it's a bit like I'll try and we'll have a look at some of the younger players in. Hey NG, welcome from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome indeed. yeah, you'll tend to find that a lot of I'll abuse the released youth players quite a lot in England, especially. Lydia's still only 18. It could probably have squeezed more out of her development wise. That's fair enough. Right, we've scored. Still not from a striker. We've scored. We're winning. We're not bottom of the league, which is all I really wanted from this season. I'm lying. It's not what I wanted to win promotion in like devastating, almost abusive fashion. What I've tried doing for my lower league saves, get half decent players who have been released from Premier Youth teams, try and sell for a profit. It's not sustainable long run, but I do that short term to balance the books. It can be very sustainable in the long run if you get the right player. I've lost count the number of times I have packed my team full of Premier League rejects, kept them out on loan while they've been under contract until they're going into their last year of their contract and sold them on for 6-7 figures. What do I recommend you look for in released Prem players? Same thing I recommend looking for in all players. Actually, I'll show you it. I'll show you in a second because I actually have my squad view set up for it. Because there are certain attributes I look for in all of my players as I'm building a team. And they're certainly the ones I would look for in a released Premier League player if I was looking to either have them in my squad or to flip them for cash. Well, Junior Singh scored again. We don't need strikers apparently. Our midfield's just going to do all our goal scoring for us. It's 3-0. Yeah, let me get back to the score screen in a second. I will show you how I look for players, or what I look for in players, to kind of guarantee some kind of return / quality on them. Can we make it 4? Not from that. Presumably this is going somewhere we wouldn't have seen the corner. Guglino back to Thornton to Dupere. That was rubbish. We are... Liam the second seems to be actually playing better than anyone else I've tried up top so far, which is a little bit troubling. Let's do some fitness subs. Payet off for Pozo. Therefore, I had no negotiable offer of 400 for Haaland for PSG, was worth 215 mil. Who on earth would sanction? FM26 things, isn't it? FM26 things is what I'll say to that. I say it quite a lot. It's just FM26 things. We can't pretend it's a fully functional, logical game. Let's send Khalees on for Guglino. Let's get him some rest, and Polly will go on. I just want Singh to score a third goal. Hey, Angie. Yeah, I was like, just reading. Yeah, Simon has popped in to the t'other chat. Lovely. Don't worry, we already checked NG. It's an account that's actually existed for more than 10 minutes for a change. It's nice. We do get a lot of that. For some unknown reason. Right, let's head that away. Good stuff. Right, let's get Junior Singh a hat-trick, and then I can feel not bad about taking him off. Just get a penalty so I can have him score it, so I can take him off. I don't like taking off players who are on a hat-trick, just because they used to just suffer horrendous dips in morale if you did that, and then they'd stop playing well for like 6 weeks. Right, okay, so when I'm looking for players, Premier League players who've been released, whatever it might be, I always look at any players. I always look at these 4 stats. So pace, determination, vision, and stamina. Now, I haven't done it with this team yet because I'm still rebuilding it, but I want all of these to be at least 10 with any player I sign. As I said, I'm still rebuilding this team in my image, but like a Goglino basically ticks all my boxes except vision. Dupierre isn't far off. Goalkeeper doesn't matter so much, but this guy's as good as you'll see for a goalkeeper in these stats, but maybe stamina. But let's face it, goalkeepers don't do any work. Looking for like this guy, Ashley White has everything at 18. He's very much a player that I'm going to try and fold into our first team very, very soon. Like the second I feel like we're in a good place, he'll get in the team. Shimon will get into the team because he's just got all the graft, really. I hope one day to see you do a save with Berry. I'm curious to see what kind of transfers and changes that you make to make us sustainable. It's not impossible. That might be a thing I'm already working on, Jack. Funnily enough, it's not impossible. That might be appearing on the channel within the next few weeks. It was going to come out this week, but then A, I did the Wheel of Chaos, and I had to get that underway, and B, sort of thinking that it's the time of year for me to drop my much loathed Manchester United rebuild whilst they're still chatting new managers. Can too many youth players ruin a season if you just youth players? Does it not matter too much? This is one of those questions where you ask 50 people, you'll get 50 different opinions. I don't think it can ruin a season. I think it can be a problem for a save, is what I would say. Because I think this squad's quite young, but I do tend to find you want one or two older players, the various banks of your team, to kind of mentor things. So the under the hood is that your youth players, no matter what their PA is, can only develop to be as good as the highest ability teammate they have, or the highest ability player in that league, or some combination of the two. So, for example, if we look at Guglino here, this potentially 5-star here could be 200 out of 200 potential ability. But if Rahiti Dupierre has his ceiling at 90, and looking at him, it's probably lower than that, that's as good as Guglino will ever get. Unless I sign a better player than Dupierre. It's just one of those weird quirks of FM. And one of the ways you can it factors in the squad first, then in the league second. One of the ways you can test this yourself, if you have the in-game editor, if you want to have a little play with things, is put a squad of players in a league with 1 current ability, 200 potential, all 16. Make yourself unsackable, set them all to play every week, and they will at best get to 5 or 6 current ability by the end of the season. But if you stick say an Erling Haaland in the squad with them, they will shoot up. They'll be in the 30s, 40s, 50s by the end of that first season. we still haven't seen a striker score for us, but Liam put in a performance that was admirable. So he'll keep the shirt for the next game, which means he's in pole position to be our goal-scoring striker. Let's do a zoom through. Wouldn't Haaland suffer through the current ability, or because it's so high it wouldn't affect him? No, he wouldn't suffer at all. It wouldn't affect him at all. Like, he would retain. He wouldn't get any potential growth. But how much potential has he really got, and does it matter if you're in, say, the Conference South or whatever? But yeah, I mean, it's just a case that everyone else would then develop quicker because they've, I guess in theory, got him to learn from in training. It's one of those little FM tricks that you learn through experience. Like, for example, if I've got a very young squad, no matter how good that very young squad is, what I will do, if I've got any wage budget, is I will sign the highest reputation player I can with good mentals, because that will boost the sort of psychological development of my team. It's just stupid little things that you learn when you've played Football Manager for 30 plus years. I don't understand why on the fixture list I see the full names of some teams and not of others, even though some of the teams I'm playing are still second teams. So we've got Tofana here, and Tofana are definitely a B team. Like, it is worth bearing in mind as well that only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams of the 12 can qualify for promotion. So we just have to be in the top 2 of those to get promoted. Which is nice, I guess, but let's see, it drops Marseille. Undo. Fix that. Let's put that back to how it was. So this fella Chabrier seems to have scored at some point, but I don't remember actually playing him. So when did he score? Oh, because he's playing for our B side. But it's nice to know there's a couple of people. Oh, Le Petre. Or Le Pret. He's scored goals. He's not very good at scoring goals, but he has scored some. Let's stick with this. Let's go with this team. This team seems functional, at least. We'll see if they can get a striker goal. That's the mission. That is the mission. No names there, I know. Don't know why I even checked. There was almost no chance I was going to know any of those players. Almost zero chance. Right, let's go out there and let's score some goals. I don't know if any of those Australians agreed to come in time for us in January, by the way, but we'll find out. Or December, I guess it is. It's only a 2-week window as well, thinking about it, which is really strange. Oh, this is an awful kit clash. Teams that play in yellow shouldn't be allowed to wear those kits against teams that wear white, or vice versa, depending on who's home and away. It's very painful on the eyes. Like, it's very bright. Liam the second got an assist, but it's Dupere who scores. Still no goal from a striker. But we are getting to goals, which we love to see. It's coming from Liam, that's what we're saying. So do feel free to use the gorgeous goal emojis. Look at how they flash so pretty in the chat. Oh, so lovely. So lovely. We are ahead. Let's get goal number 2. Praise the boys. I am very much enjoying the easy Glover emoji. That's fantastic. That's outstanding work. Come on, goal number 2. It's Singh. It's not a striker. It is Singh. Come on, let's get something going. A goal, please. Any goal. No. 7 point. Maybe Liam II was the way to go up top all along. Just because there seems to be some kind of effort happening. It is entirely possible I could score more goals just by going route 1. It's not pretty football though. And we do like to see some pretty football. Like if I'm going to watch enough games of football while streaming that I see pretty much every game of a save, I want to see nice football being played, not just hoof it over the top and hope for the best. Just because I never want to feel like I'm watching Sunday League. Well, that defending didn't help. Don't need to see that again. We know what happened. We can see a goal. Now let's score a goal. Guglino's gone missing. Hyoa's gone missing as well. Saeed, honestly, has never really been here. Let's try to work it into the box instruction again, shall we? I sort of want to try a route 1 formation just once we're clear, just to see if that's how we dominate games. Jesus, I've got to make changes anyway if this carries on. Let's berate the boys. Nope, it was a cross and a goal. That was what we saw. Okay. You've been terrible so far. Sort it out. I'm not happy with your performance today. Be better footballers, please. I don't know why when I'm yelling at my players I turn into some combination between Peggy Mitchell, Harry Redknapp and I don't know, some weird camp Cockney, but there you go, that's life, innit? Go on, second goal for us. Sing's through, Sing has missed. Sing doesn't get to sing in the shower because he missed that shot. I'm just trying to think what I can do tactically, because to put a second striker up for it means I can't change Guglino. That's a great ball over the top though. Guglino's in. Beats his man. Cuts back. What a goal from Agustin Guglino. What a finish. My words. My word. What a goal the Argentine has pulled off there. That's stupendous. That's what we like to see. Maybe I should just play Guglino up top. Golazzo indeed, Kit. That's what we're saying. Welcome to chat, Kit. Welcome to Tahiti, where goals are rare, but fun is regular. and Guglino is leading the way for us, and then he's leaving us, so that's fun. Saeed's going to miss. Oh, bloody hell, he almost scored. I've got so used to Saeed just having random punts into the stands that I genuinely have just zero expectations for him. That's okay, Kit, don't worry. It's not like you're on a schedule. You're not required to come in. I'm not going to like pop up at your house like, Kit, you didn't fucking show up for the stream, you're fired. It's not going to happen. I'm not that mean. Sometimes. Let's see if this Poli fella's any good. Collis seems motivated, but we need a third goal. We need a third goal. Rapido. That's fair, Kit. You did. You did. It happens occasionally. I've just been told to marvel at the quality of defending from Liverpool against Barnsley's goal, and I must say, some of the finest defending I've ever witnessed. If the player was a mannequin. How have we drawn this game? Like, genuinely, if we could get a striker to score some goals. That's very true. Paul, how do you get the players' names of every player on the highlights? That's a great question. That's a great question. I've got to puzzle out the mystery of the Husk. I'm guessing Hartlepool? You a Hartlepool man? Right, to get the players' names of every player on the highlights, you go into detailed, you go into match day, and then on in match, there's a tick box here, show all player names during the match. It's great for analysing what your team are doing. Does confuse me a little bit when I'm commentating for streams and videos, because having one name as the name of the goal with the ball is much easier, but it is what it is. It does help you isolate things, but yeah, I hope you're well. Hope things are going well in pools. One of my favourite away grounds is Hartlepool. One of my favourite away trips was to Hartlepool, and I say away trip, it wasn't really an away trip because I was living in Middlesbrough at the time. It was basically like a trip to the seaside. But great ground. Great little ground is Hartlepool. Plus, of course, the place of origin of the greatest manager of all time, Sir Brian of Clough. And yes, anyone who thinks it's Pep, I will fight you. I'll let you claim you've got a valid point if you chuck in like Fergie or Ancelotti, but Clough was better. They sacked you in the Prem. You'll have a word, mate. You'll have a word. That's daft. Heartless Pool indeed, Simon. Excellent punnery. I feel like we should rename you as Sean Punnery, License to Dad Joke. But there's not a way of doing that, so we won't. Plus, I'll get confused. Thank you for the follow, Paul.
Are you following me?
I was actually just going to ask you the same thing.
We have a good
But
time
you're
here.
hot.
We talk a lot of
I may
random
resist
shite,
for a
to be
while,
honest,
but we both know
but
eventually I'll give in. So why don't we
do
just
it
skip
whilst
the baby in
exploring
me?
weird places like, well, Tahiti, because apparently that's where we end up. What do I think about Alonso? I'm going to need a touch more context because my brain went shabby, but I've not seen any news saying shabby Alonso has done anything. Let's have a look. Left Madrid. Well, to be fair, I'd have left Madrid too, but that's largely because I can't stand Real Madrid. Like, I can't feel bad for him. What I will say is, he is the latest manager to learn that you never go back. Because he was always going to have a rough time in Madrid purely because very rarely do you see managers have a good time at their ex-clubs. Also, losing to Barca in a cup final will put you on thinnish ice as well. It's also interesting because there's not really a job in world football for him to go to. Like, realistically, where would he go? Paris constantly being undermined and the dressing room egos were crazy, so we know he's not going to Manchester United because he'd have the same problem there. Probably rules out a lot of jobs. I'm not off the top of my head. I can't remember. He'll be linked to Liverpool. Probably he will. Yeah, he will. And Slot is getting a lot of shit, but I think even the average Liverpool fan would feel a touch dirty if it turns out that he's quit Real Madrid because Liverpool have made him an offer behind Slot's back. Like, it's such dirty business. I always hate it when I find out a manager has been fired and replaced in the same day because there's no way you didn't have the conversation with the new guy before you had the conversation with the old guy. It always just feels really gross to me. He had one good season with Leverkusen, that's fair, and I know nothing about Reyes Cleary, but if he was good, he was good. Because I didn't watch the game. Forgot it was on. To be honest, completely forgot it was on. I'm not the biggest watcher of football. Like, the guys who regularly know this, but I'm not the biggest watcher of football. Like, I'll pop a game on from time to time, like if I'm doing nothing else. But like, I'm not someone who will sit down and watch Super Sunday every week. But then, like, I'll occasionally be sat there on like a Tuesday night thinking like, oh, who's playing today? And then I'll pop on a game from the Swiss third tier or whatever. One good season, one world class, two good, fair. But also, to give credit where it's due, Leverkusen aren't a team you expect to win trophies. Like, they're not one of those German teams you expect to be challenging at the top every season. In fact, very recently, were they not in the second tier of Germany? That's the thing. So, like, you have to kind of contextualise it. Like, yeah, he didn't do anything spectacular in the grand scheme of things at Leverkusen, but you do have to bear in mind that Leverkusen are basically Germany's Everton. Like, and even that might be too generous. Like, maybe they're Newcastle or, I don't know, Brighton, Brentford. Like, they're one of those teams that will occasionally pop up and have a great season in the Bundesliga, and then you won't hear anything about them for 10 years. Yeah, that's it, kid. Like, that's what I mean when I say they're basically sort of an Everton or a Brighton or, I don't know, a Spurs for the Bundesliga. Like, they're not. Well, they're very rarely in danger of going down. They're very rarely in danger of winning a title. They'll occasionally pick up a DFB Pokal, but ultimately that's a lottery. Leeds without the relegations. Fair. I can see that. Although that said, Leeds have got quite a lot more history, I would say. Like, I know I'm showing my age as always, but when I was a kid, Leeds were a team that you expected to be competing for titles. And then, like, if you go back to when my dad was a kid, Leeds were a team who just won everything. Also, since we have 2 Liverpool fans in chat that I'm aware of, at least 2 Liverpool fans in chat that I'm aware of, I was thinking of doing a Manchester United rebuild for the. Or I'm in the process of doing a Manchester United rebuild on the channel this week, just because it's good algorithm time. Now they've been looking for a new manager. Do we think it's unfair if I refer to them as a club that used to be successful? Do we think that's unfair? It's weird asking Liverpool fans that, but I don't think that's an unfair. That's an unfair way to frame them as like the club that used to be successful. I ask this because there was a time not so very long ago where Liverpool were in a very similar position. Like, I almost went as far, Simon, as to say that, like, they used to be a big club, but that felt unfair because they are still a big club. They're just incapable of winning a damn thing. It's something I find really frustrating because for Manchester United to not be winning trophies consistently for this long is a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. Yeah, that's it. Except the FA Cup unexpectedly, and the fact that Manchester United got to a cup final and we weren't expecting them to win it. You can't imagine saying that 20 years ago. Like 20 years ago, if Manchester United got to a cup final, you wondered why the other team bothered showing up. Yeah, it's true. But like even, I'm talking like peak Fergie. If United had got to a cup final against an Arsenal, a Chelsea, whoever else was big at the time, a Liverpool, you still expected them to win it. Like, you know, there was a thing with Manchester United where you felt like it didn't matter who they were playing against, they were gonna batter them. That's a good way of phrasing it, Kit. Yeah, they're the biggest club you don't trust to win anymore. Like, I was talking about this with someone yesterday, and I think there's a strong argument that firing Amorim is the end of United as a perceived big club on the world stage, because there can't be many more big name experienced managers who are willing to go to Manchester United at this point. Like, I don't understand why you would stake your reputation on that now, because they clearly aren't interested in a project, and the club is a project. So if you're going there, you're just going there for a payday. I remember they really dominated in that period. It was always another team who could win it. Fair. I can't say they don't compete because 3 or 4 finals in 4 years is good, but they are regularly without Europe now, and when they are, they lose to teams like Spurs. Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. Imagine out-Spursing Spurs. Imagine being more Spursy than Spurs in a final. Like, Fergie would have committed murder if he'd been in charge of that team. Although, to be fair, Fergie would never have been in charge of that team because he'd never have put a team that bad together. But then I will also say, I saw something last night or earlier where Man United fans were saying Diego Dallo is the worst footballer of all time. And I did think, like, don't get me wrong, he's not Cafu, but he'd still look really bloody good in the Championship. Yeah, that's it. Then Grimsby happened. That's the thing, Kit. That really is the thing. And, like, I understand why, as a United fan, you might have watched that Grimsby game and gone, yeah, Amorim's got to go. But realistically, there is not a manager on the planet that could turn the current Manchester United squad into a team that could qualify for the Champions League comfortably. I struggle to make an argument there's a manager that could turn them into a team you would truly trust could qualify for Europe at all. Like, the players just aren't there. Yes, it genuinely is weird. I think it's like everyone who wasn't a United fan when I was a kid, and it's certainly still true to an extent now, everyone who wasn't a United fan when I was a kid hated United. Like, it's one of those things where I always thought that if the bubble ever burst and they stopped winning, I'd really enjoy it. But I just feel bad for them because it's not the fans' fault. It's they've got a really shitty board. That's a crazy stat. The least games they'll have played in a season since 1915. That's a wild stat. Well, I'm guessing we're not including COVID in that. Did they play more games in the COVID year? That's sort of what I mean, Kit, is it's almost an unprecedented drop-off. Like, even in the period where Liverpool weren't winning titles, they were still a good side. Like, they were still a top 6 side. Consistently. That's good statage, Kit. Yeah. It's just weird that they've had that spectacular a fall, and you've got to start asking, like, the other thing that, like, that really got me with their sacking of Amorim was that I was thinking, for the caretaker, they're going to bring in Ollie Solskjaer with Michael Carrick as his assistant. And my thinking was, A, if you're just going to keep bringing Ollie Solskjaer back every time you realise that your, like, plan isn't working, then just keep Solskjaer in the fucking job and give him time. And also, if I was looking for a manager, Carrick would be my guy. It's now Carrick with... There's no way Rooney fits inside Old Trafford. Don't be daft. Don't be daft, Kit. I saw him at Macclesfield the other day and they almost had to give him an entire stand. Never seen a retired footballer expand so quickly. Starbucks didn't expand as quickly as Rooney has since retiring. It was really funny watching Wayne Rooney with his brother on the FA Cup, just because I was like, there's no way these two are related. There's no way. But also, John Rooney's so skinny that as a kid, he must just never have been allowed food because Wayne ate it all. And like, I know I shouldn't be making these jokes because I'm also a fat fuck, but alas, I also wasn't a Premier League footballer and allegedly the greatest English footballer of all time. Well, that's not at all true, but you know. Right, we're going to keep with this plan, except I'm going to replace here with T'other Liam from the start. Just to see if that leads to a goal. With two Liams on a pitch, one of them has to score, and it could be the strikery one. It could. Do you think with Man United it's just a club that's rotten from the core out? I don't know if the previous managers for the down in particular. The hire from the top has been awful and the culture is bad. Yeah. That's it, and that's why I say I feel bad for the fans, because it must be really frustrating supporting a club that used to be that consistently successful and having people in the boardroom who know fuck all about football destroy it that quickly and that consistently and that completely. Like, I think if I'd said to you at the start of the season, and I might actually have said this at some point, that it wasn't inconceivable that Manchester United could go down, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as funny as it would have been 5 years ago. Like, you genuinely would believe that this is a Manchester United that could get relegated. I think the last time I got relegated was, 1963 or something stupid? 67, maybe? Someone will know. I could Google it, but someone will know. 1973. Thank you, Simon. Someone's been collecting their Match magazine annuals, because there's no way you were around for that. Might sound crazy, but I think Wrexham will win the Prem before United. Liam, it does sound a bit crazy, but also I might recommend sticking a fiver on that. I'm just saying, there'll be a bookie that will take that. The dregs of the €68 winnings. Yeah, I saw. Was that the season that Dennis Law left them to play for Manchester City? Am I remembering that right? How do you know finishing 11th? Your predictions say even a few years ago would have gotten you laughed at, let alone them finishing 15th last year. Yeah. Like, I genuinely believe at this stage that at some point in the next 10 years we'll see Manchester United in the Championship. I don't think they'll be there for more than a season, but I think we might see it. And I think that might be the kick up the arse that United's board needs. Like, it would be a good thing for the club if they got relegated. Dennis scored the goal which put them down. I remember, that's what I was remembering. Thank you, Simon. I remember seeing that footage of him and him not celebrating. Which also, by the way, high class stuff. You never celebrate against your old club unless you left because your old club were dicks. For example, when Frankie Lampard celebrated scoring against West Ham, I was kind of here for it because, frankly, the West Ham fans had been absolutely fucking awful towards him. So, but yeah, if you score against your old club, you don't celebrate. Unwritten rule of football unless they've been a prick. Also, had a kick up the arse already, which is why else were Ineos put in charge of operations only made things worse. Yeah, I don't think that's an unfair comment. Although to be fair, I will also say, what the fuck do Ineos know about football? Jesus. Like, have Ineos ever run a football club? Why is, like, you'd be on your knees begging David Gill to come back. There you go. See, that's. Of course they own Nice. Of course they do. I think these are things that should be taken into account. In an ideal world, with the alleged fit and proper persons test, which we all know is bollocks, because it's just not who you get past by stuffing an envelope. We all know that. But in an ideal world, if you've owned a club before and you fucked it up, you wouldn't be allowed to buy a club in England. I mean, anyway, if your ownership has led to decreased success, decreased financial stability, if you can look at that club and honestly say they are worse off for that person owning it, they shouldn't be allowed to buy a club in England. The only trouble with that is, if you applied that rule across the board, and it wasn't just about who can stuff a brown envelope most full, most of the clubs in England would go bust inside 5 years, because nice millionaires aren't buying football clubs. Like, I know it's become trendy to take the piss out of, like, Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack because they're big Hollywood stars that bought a football club. But at least they've put the club first, not making themselves richer. In fact, they've probably made themselves significantly poorer for doing this. You look at, like, Rob Smedley at Macclesfield, who, I love the story of how he ended up owning Macclesfield. That's still hilarious. If you don't know it, do look it up. But essentially, he was on the piss and saw a football club on Rightmove and thought it'd be funny to buy them. I don't know how you find a football club on Rightmove. I've never looked at Rightmove for a football club. Presumably they don't come up for sale all the time. But I love the fact that he was just on the piss and thought it would be funny to buy a football club, then realised the next day when he sobered up that he'd bought a football club and had to figure out how to actually run it. Yeah, Leicester's owners. That's... I'd love to know what happened there, because the guy that bought it, whose name I used to be able to pronounce, and I'm not going to have a go now because I've not done it in a while, but he loved the club, and now his kids own it, and they're just destroying everything their dad built, which I think seems quite dishonourable to his memory, to be honest. Like, if you can't put in the time to run a club properly, then sell it. Or find someone that can do the job, or whatever your vibe may need to be for that. But like, their old boy loved that club so much, and they've just driven it into the ground. Which is unacceptable. Right. That's it. An owner who cares will always be better than an owner with money. I would rather, and I say this as a long-suffering fan of Swindon, maybe Liam will agree with me. I would rather have an owner who is so competent that I can know for certain under their stewardship that the club will never go out of business, but may also never get promoted again, than have an owner who comes and goes, I'm going to spend so much money on this club and I've got a 5-year plan for us to be in the Championship, which will be the 4th time I've heard that from a different owner in the last 10 years, by the way. I would rather have someone come in and go, I can keep this club completely stable, but we're probably never getting promoted again, than the guy who goes, I'm going to chuck money at us until we go out of business, and then we have to sell, and then we get relegated again, and it's all for fuck all, but at least try a jolly good time that one season we pissed ourselves up the wall. Yeah, like Chelsea's owners, who are rich but stupid. Chelsea's owners baffle me. They baffle me. Like, they spent, what, £1 billion on players over the last few years? And you really have to wonder what they're thinking, because A, they've got a youth team full of some of the best young players in the world that never play for Chelsea. And B, Stamford Bridge, as nice a stadium as it is falling to bits. It's falling to pieces. There is not a club in the top flight more desperately in need of a new stadium than Chelsea are. And it would do the same benefit for them in terms of bounce that it did for Arsenal, that it's done for Spurs, that it's done for Brighton. And for what they've spent on utterly shit players over the last 2-3 years, they could have replaced Stamford Bridge. And they'd be in a place. Old Trafford is probably in a worse state, but Old Trafford also realistically only needs the roof fixing to be serviceable for another 10 years. Whereas, like, Stamford Bridge just feels grotty. It's always just felt a bit grotty. And the most, yeah, that's fair. But I've been to Stamford Bridge a couple of times, and it's never felt like a good place to watch football. Like, it's never felt like an enjoyable place for watching football. The rat's selling, who knows, Bruno may finally leave, that's fair. Did we have this conversation yesterday about Bruno? About how I feel like he's one of those players who's not as good as United fans think he is, because if he was, he would have left by now. I think we talked about this yesterday. Since the owners at Chelsea, a good sign I can think of is Palmer. Yeah. That's not a bad shout. This is it, Kit. I don't understand why Fernandes is the captain of Manchester United when you've got Harry Maguire in that squad. Now, I'm not saying Harry Maguire is necessarily the best defender at United, nor even really making an argument that he should be starting every week. But, god damn, if there's one player at Manchester United who will run through walls for that club, it's bloody Slabhead. Like, you could tell watching the United game against Brighton yesterday as they came off the pitch. Bruno was walking around hugging people and patting people on the back and all this kind of shit. And Harry Maguire looked like he was trying not to kill people. Yeah, you would have to imagine it was a contract promise. But like Harry Maguire was walking around that pitch looking like he was trying to figure out who to murder first. Like I've never seen a footballer look that angry. Like it's almost as if he's reached a point where he's genuinely embarrassed by his teammates. And like, when I say that, we have to bear in mind that it's not like Harry Maguire is a player who spent his entire career at big clubs. He has played with much worse players than he's got around him at Manchester United, but he's also played with much better players than he's got around him at Manchester United. And he shouldn't be looking around Old Trafford wondering what the hell he's sharing a dressing room with. That's the thing. I've never thought Harry Maguire is a top-class footballer, like a world-class footballer. But sometimes you just need that fella who's going to run through walls. Like, the Macclesfield game was a good example of that as well. Like, yes, Macclesfield played really well, but that fellow who was their captain, whose name I've forgotten already, genuinely looked like he was going to try and beat Palace on his own, and damn near did. Like, he looked like he showed up with the single mentality of everyone thinks we're going to get twatted, so I'm going to beat these fuckers on my own. And that's what you want from a captain. The guy who genuinely believes it doesn't matter how good the team across from you is, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure we win this game. And Fernandes doesn't do that. Whereas Harry Maguire always looks like he'll do that. 2 stone overweight and his best foot is his head. Fair. Well, at least he won't get those criticisms from Wayne Rooney. Hang on, what? Who was a PE teacher? Oh, the fella from Macclesfield. That doesn't surprise me. He's got that PE teacher thing. PE teachers come in exactly 2 flavours. They're either psychopaths who think they're military drill instructors, or they're child molesters. It's one or the other. Oh, that's who you were talking about, Simon. Yeah. Like, there was never any idea that he was a player of a quality that should be on a pitch with a Premier League side. But it didn't matter, because he went up for every goddamn header, he went in for every tackle, he threw himself around, spent half the game bleeding everywhere. But he got the job done. And it's wild to me that Macclesfield have that player and Manchester United don't. Like, if you ever read any ex-United player autobiography from from the 90s, 2000s, the vast majority will have a line in there where, like, if you hadn't played well, you didn't worry about the manager, you just didn't make eye contact with Roy Keane because you didn't want him to snap at you. It's true, there is more passion in the lower league, and that's what happens when you overpay footballers. Like, there's this old argument with all sports that the greatest player of all time will always be playing at this point in time because science and blah 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 moves on. And it's not wrong. Like, I consider Johan Cruyff to be the greatest player of all time. But I'm also aware that contextually, would he be as good as on the field as prime Ronaldo? Possibly not. But I think if you took the 11 best players of the 80s, 90s, 70s, 2000s in their prime and put them in the same team against the 11 best players on the planet now, the players from the past, because they cared more, would absolutely batter them. It's just a wild, crazy opinion, but I just feel like talent is only 60% of what makes a footballer good or bad, and the rest is attitude. Like, Roy Keane's a great example of this. He was a really, really good footballer who still managed to make himself look much better than he was because he just gave it 110% every second of every game, except for Ireland. But, you know, it happens. Jesus Christ. I've just watched a striker miss an open goal from 3 yards. Why can't we get a striker to score a goal? Also, some of the ratings in this team right now are shocking. Absolutely so poor. And like, I will make changes, but bloody Nora. Right, Sing, you're coming off, mate, because you don't look like you want to be here. We're going to take Guglielmo off for Ellis Watts. Send Pettigat on in midfield. In fact, no, let's not worry about that midfield for just a second. Thornton, get your ass off my pitch, because you've embarrassed me today. Same with you, Porter. I'm trying to work out how I get a right back on there. This is I'm doing some jiggery pokery. This is going to be potentially disastrous. I think that's the best way I can get a holding mid in there. It wasn't at all. That was not the best way to get a holding mid in there at all. The best way to get a holding mid in there was to put the holding mid on the bench on. That was the best way. That's it, Liam. You assist if you can't score. You should ask the club if you can start a coaching course. I think I already did. We've got no money, so they're going to say no, I'd imagine, anyway. But we'll give it a go. I'm not sure my starting a coaching course is going to help us much, to be honest, because we're just not very good. We're all over them. Right, let's go very attacking. Let's stop the faffing. Bloody hell, we've got a striker that scores. That's a miracle. That is a miracle. That's what 15 finishing gets you. Is a goal like that. Had to be. It had to be. We're back in the game. It's alright. We can relax just for a second. We're back in the game. They've got a Chinese goalkeeper. How has that happened? Liam Holloway the second indeed. He's got a second. He can't stop bloody scoring. He's not even good enough to be in the team. I just put him up top because we'd squandered so many chances with our strikers that I put the guy with the best finishing on the team up top, and he's had 2 in 2 minutes. The secret, and he's wearing my lucky number, so the secret is to have those things all line up and just a bit of patience till he gets match fit, and suddenly you've got a striker who scores. We've learned it, we've fixed FM26. SI couldn't do it, but we've fixed it with some ingenuity, some dumb luck, and random chance. And that's why we rename youth players. For moments like that where we can enjoy a lovely time. Oh shit, I've just berated the players for bleeding. It was so much better when I didn't have shouts. Alright, let's not concede any more goals, thanks. We've got Liam passing it to himself. Oh, he went for a hat-trick. He went for a hat-trick. He's well up for this. He might still get a hat-trick. Not with Pettigard doing that. What? Do you want to talk to him before you try and play a through ball? Just a thought. But that's a man of the match performance from Liam Holloway II. 2 goals and an assist in one game. Come here, son. Take a boo. Take a boo, son. It was a good comeback. We've done well there. We actually look like a serious football team. When we have a goal-scoring striker. Oh. We are 8 games into the season. We are doing well. We've got a transfer window about to open. Not enjoying the season opener, also being the same as my European competition foe, FC Fly 91. Anything FM24, match engine is better than FM26 is decision making. It's true. It's true. Okay, we are playing AS Taravao. And if my math is mathing with this next game, if we beat AS Taravao, we should be top of the league. That's what I'm thinking. So let's think good thought. I'm going to be back in 2 secs because I need more water. And then, yeah, we'll play it through. We'll try and win that game. Oh, alright. What are we saying in chat? They have one kid striker who finished third next generation by strikers. It's fucking better than my strikers. Fair. Prime Aspas. Wowzers. Feel well posh drinking can water, but it's super cheap, so why not? It cost me £1 for 12 cans. How do you say no to that? That's literally cheaper than tap water. And better than tap water. I got these kit from Home Bargains, Liquid Death. They were doing packs of 12, sparkling and regular, for 99p. Just don't look in the Oxford Home Bargains because I've got them all. Literally, I've got boxes upon boxes. Could build a house out of cases of Liquid Bastard Death at this point. Home Bargains is surprisingly good for almost everything, but yeah, you can't knock 99p for 12 half-litre cans of water. Especially because water does in fact taste better out of a can than a bottle. It's a little bit annoying you can't reseal a can, but it does taste better. Also, I really enjoy the Liquid Death Sparkling because it's not obnoxiously fizzy. There are resealable cans? What technology is this? Sounds like witchcraft to me. I think I'm going to make all these reserve players actually available for our seconds, by the way, just while I remember. My last sparkling cans was Drip. I assume that's not some street thing. I assume that's like the name of a brand. Fair. I only discovered Liquid Death was a thing because I went to see Fallout Boy last year and they were handing out cans of it outside after the gig, and I was like, oh, that's the greatest thing any human has ever done for me after a gig, is just hand me an ice cold can of water. Fancy. Who are Drip sponsoring? And can I persuade them to sponsor me? Brooklyn FC. Fancy. It's a pretty can too. Founded by Big Zoo, who I can assume is some kind of rapper, I guess. Has some weird tie to the UFC. I guess they're not going to sponsor me. It's worth a look, wasn't it? Was worth a look. I'm not really the image you want if you're trying to sell your water as being like healthy hydration and shit, am I really? Like, drink this water, the fat bitch that smokes a lot recommends it. It'll make you feel nicer. I'm probably not the best advert for a lot of things, though, to be fair. Right, encourage these guys. Let's do an encourage. Please goal score. We know Liam II can score goals. We've seen him score goals. There were two of them. We were all there. My squad's been fully revamped. The biggest transfer is oddly the cheapest. Hannah Etzold from Siena. Strong. I think Siena were one of the teams I recommended to manage in one of my videos pre-season. I can't remember now. It's been forever since I made that video. It's probably realistically been like 6 weeks, but it feels like forever since I made that video. How long's FM been out now? Because I made that video about 2 weeks before FM came out. 8 weeks? 6 weeks? It's been like 8 weeks since FM came out, right? So it must be 10 weeks ago I made that video. I've been asleep at least twice since then. Come on, goals. Please, for the love of God, goals. Liam has scored. Liam the first has scored, of course. We are leading. Etzol being a goalkeeper even younger and better than Petito with excellent reflexes and positioning. Etzol is likely the goalkeeper until a certain youth academy goalkeeper I have is 1920 and reasonably close to developed. Fair enough. Fair enough. Liam Aldo, indeed. That's going to be your next regen's name, isn't it? They're going to be called Liam Aldo. Right, come on, let's get more goals. Come on, you can do this. You can defend. You can try. Bollocks. It was all going so well until we showed up. All going so well until we showed up. Margot Messis is 16, currently injured in training, so that's probably around 4 years now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, let's make some changes. Screw it. We're making changes. Delabelle, buddy, you have been, and I mean this in the nicest way, shit. So if you could not do that again, that'd be nice. We'll take Leon the second off for Collis. Porter off for Pozo. I don't know if anyone else feels game changing from the bench or not. Don't know who else feels game changing off the bench. Another two of Margot's probably not making a debut in this lineup until 22 as Exol's entering 30s. Fair enough. Fair. Bloody hell, we've got a penalty. It's our Welsh question mark player taking it. He scored it. What a magician. What a magical time to be alive. I'm going to take Saeed off while I still can because he's bound to cock something up in the near future. That was textbook. Into the net, goal scored, we're all happy, limbs are flying. That guy's got too many letters in his name. We're all having a jolly good fun time. Also, in a semi-related question of questions, has anyone seen or heard hide or hair of Ankh recently? Because I've not seen Ankh around. I assume it's something to do with animals moving, etc. But I just thought I'd ask the question. Ankh's been semi-active on Discord, fair enough. Just checking, just making sure that she's okay. This players keep developing to 27, Exor's 24, and they're not saying fair enough. To be fair, I should look at Discord more than I do, but Ankh was on for another stream post raid. Okay, just checking, just you know, we do show some concern. Oh, Benny's got a baseball game going. I just sort of clicked through to Twitch just to see what was going on elsewhere. And it occurred to me I've not seen Ankh on my list for ages. Ah, that makes sense. I'm guessing not farming, because farming is probably pretty easy in January. You just keep the animals warm and like milk shit, don't you? But does she not have some kind of government-y job as well? Well, apparently she streamed 4 days ago. Oh. Oh. I know she's been on a couple of times in the last week. It's just that I've not been around because I was looking after my mum. There we go. We've solved a problem. Solved a question I had. You redeemed your blaze ball. Do I want to know what a blaze ball is? Let's just casually pop Benny on a background just so rare player randomize everything. Okay. There we go. We've let Benny know we're lurking. We're not watching. We are literally just lurking for his baseball game. But you know, it's always nice to keep your friends' tabs open even when you're not watching, because that way your turbo money bollocks goes to the old creator. Pro tip. For example, I said goodbye to Pats at nearly dawn this morning. Woke up on a magical mystery tour. You do have many, Kit. You do get around. But yeah, we were with Pats in Barcelona and Montreal this morning. I only see your FM guys. Are there people playing other games I should be looking out for? Selling Motivated in a January, planning a loan to buy two for next season. I can shut Pellissier off 25 player roster for this tournament, which doesn't count as club developed. I mean, Kit, if you're watching someone I might enjoy, do feel free to make recommendations, because you know, it's not like I'm a complete one game human. You'll be surprised at the random places I pop up on Twitch. Like, for example, currently on my list of games following, if I go to that wee tab, I've got FM Zomboid, as you'd imagine. I've got Just Chatting, because sometimes that's funny. Music, chess, Out of the Park, baseball, Elden Ring. Some random stuff on there. PCA is more versatile player who is below standard for European competitions. How Portuguese FM and other game streamer follow mainly because he's energetic and passionate. Fair. She's rather large enough for French for one. Fair enough. There is someone I was watching recently who was playing Zomboid, and they're not on right now, so I'm going to struggle to find them. But they were playing Zomboid with a Fallout reskin. That was very cool. So essentially, someone had taken Zomboid, and on their online server, they had rebuilt the entire map and all of the items and all the other stuff in the game, so it was basically like the Fallout TV show. It was an incredible piece of work. In fact, that's reminded me, I was going to try and find that map because I think that could be really, really fun to play with. Let me just have a quick look on that library. Project Fallout, it's called. I will add a bunch of this stuff in. We'll do a Project Fallout run at some stage. Just because that looks like it'd be a lot of fun. And apparently it's got like a whole storyline built in with like holodeck. It's basically like an unofficial Fallout game built in Zomboid. It looks really good. Is what I'm getting at. So it might be a thing we play through at some point. I have just rotated for AS Venus. I know their first team aren't in our league. Their second team in our league. They are, aren't they? Project Paris with the French castles. I might play some Project Paris at some point. I have been giving that some thought too. It was just the idea of playing Project Fallout appeals to me. They are in our league. Okay, so I want to go as close to full strength as I can. Which is sort of that and a left back, ideally. If not, we'll put Liam the second in there. So yeah, that'll work. That'll work. We'll give this fella, Keller, who is supposedly our best striker, a chance to have a go at scoring some goals. That's too many wingers. That is too many wingers. Let's have less of that weirdness. Would Project Fallout have radiation? I think it does, actually. I think it does. It's got power armor in it, unlike ghouls and shit. Like feral ghouls. So it's very possible it does have all that in there. Let me, let's see if I can find the Project Fallout proper map. I assume there's like a Project Fallout collection somewhere. I'll find it. I'll find it. In a second. Let me just try Google. Project Fallout mod. I'm really struggling to find it. Really I'll when I have it working, I will show you guys. There is a video here that someone's put up about a year and a half ago. Sure, Lakon. Sure. Hey man, are you able to fire? How are you? I'm good, thank you. Are you able to fire a player if he has a contract? It costs a lot, or he doesn't want to leave. It depends on the player. If the player's unhappy and you offer them mutual termination, sometimes they'll leave for free if there's a club interested in them. Otherwise, if they've got a contract, you're going to have to pay up the contract, unfortunately. I think you only pay 2/3 of the remaining contract, but you're still paying money out of your transfer budget, sadly. But if you're a gambler, you can deliberately make that player as unhappy as possible and they'll leave. But you do risk upsetting the rest of your squad to do it, so maybe choose wisely when you do that. Would be my suggestion, but thank you for the question, Mr. Evil Low. That was a good question, and we love to see it. Yeah, I assume that was probably a bot message, Leo. I'm not gonna lie. I just can't do anything about it from the pop-up window as far as I can tell. One day I'll learn how to do this modding thing properly. Thank you, Simon. I was like, how do I do that? Well, you have to click on their name or something, don't you? I don't know, we're losing to AS Phoenix's reserves in the Coupe de Polynésie, and we hold the Coupe de Polynésie. So, fair. It's one of those things with trying to make a profit on clubs. Honestly, the quickest thing to get rid of is staff. Which league are you playing in, Bob? Maybe I can give you some help. Oh, come on, how have we not scored? I've made the mistake of not putting Liam the second up top, and now we're not going to be able to score any goals. Demand more. Payet with a great cross, headed away, but Pernin is going to Pernin. Dupier, almost. Right, we aren't doing well here. And I think actually what we're learning is that our backup left back isn't that great. Even though he's playing well, he's probably not that great. Sings through. Oh, Junior Singh scores to level for us. And at least somebody, even if he is the most tired man on the pitch, can step up. It's been bloody disallowed. That was not what we were looking for. We're in danger of losing a game. And I don't like it. I don't like it. League 2 January 1st season, didn't take responsibility on staff recruit before, as a player contract cost up to 5. Yeah. So basically, make sure you've got control of staff recruitment now. They're probably going to have 1 year contracts anyway. Anyone that's been signed by your chairman or whoever was left in charge of that. Just don't renew any. Just get rid of them all at the end of the season for free. The thing is, you can have a season where your finances suck and bounce back from it. Like, you can always get it back. It's frustrating, but keep your squad as small as possible. Always make sure that at that level, the only players who are like senior players are your first 11, and then just fill out the bench and everything around them with young players. Because chances are you'll find that one of those young players will actually be a baller that you wouldn't have played otherwise, and you can make some money that way as well. But for now, I mean, don't panic. You're in January. You're halfway through the season. As long as you're achieving your objectives, then just write this season off effectively. And cheers, Simon. I'll have a look in a sec. Yeah, just achieve your objective for the year from the board. Write the year off as a financial thing. And now you're in charge of the staff. Make sure you don't renew anyone. Just cut your budgets and stuff back. Cut your first team down to 11 senior players. Back them up with your youth team, and you'll be golden. Like I said, realistically speaking, one of those youth players, even if they've only got 3 or 4 star potential, is going to develop into a player that someone's going to offer you money for. I am desperately needing a goal here. It's very rare I find myself this desperately trying to get a goal. Let's go very attacking. Very attacking. We're going to try and create as many chances as we can and hope that Liam puts them away for us. We are lacking a bagsman. That's what I'm trying to do. I think I will clean all of this next season. Many 1 year contract first. I'm planning Salford. Looking at annual salary is way better, thanks. Yeah, I find it better. I don't know how people can manage on a per week basis. I don't understand it. I'd love to hear from people who can and keep on top of their finances, but I don't understand, like, your boss at work doesn't tell you what your salary is, or doesn't calculate your salary weekly. They won't tell you what your hourly wage is, but when they budget for hiring a member of staff, they work out the annual cost of that employee. They don't sit there and go, oh, well, we'll be paying Steve £300 a week. They sit there and go, okay, we're going to budget for this year to spend 25 grand a year on someone. And they'll work it out from there. I've got subs left, I do. Right. Other Liam on the pitch. Please, please help us get an equaliser. We're going out the cup here. Can you believe we are going out of the cup here? We're the holders of this cup, and we're about to go out of it. We have become Crystal Palace. And we're going out to someone else's reserves. Alright. I'm doing it. I'm going route 1. Clear slot. Yeah, sure. Whatever makes you happy. Presets. Route 1. I told you to clear the slots. Just clear the slots. It's not hard. Oh, you've broken tactics again, haven't you, you bastard? -2 at the end of the season through all these 2-star players. Yeah, you will. You will. I'm sorry. That's just how it go. Why don't you work? Are you actually going to make me rebuild a tactic mid-match? Ah, sweet lord. Okay. That was sort of what I was trying to do. Alright, have a good night, Simon. See you soon. I don't think I'll be long out of bed, to be honest. I'm starting to crash. Just a touch. Will I gain more revenue if I go into League One? Yes, you will. Yes. Right, there is almost no chance this will work for us, but it is the best we've got. So hopefully that'll work. Right. We've got a plan for the last 4 minutes to score a goal. It's gonna work. I hope. Should I extend contract for promotion or after? Extend as many as you can in January, to be honest, or as many as you want to in January. If you're looking like getting promoted, extend them now, because if you try and do it in March, April, May, they're going to ask for a fortune. And honestly, try and get them on the same money they're currently on. You will find a lot of them will actually take that. Liam the second has equalised. We are going to extra time, boys and girls. Extra time is about to occur. Just when it looked like we couldn't do anything competently, we've got a goal. We're going to stick with this. Mustier off the bench scoring best 15k I've ever spent on FM. Good job, Elodie. Well done. Goal indeed, Mr. Evil, though. Goal indeed. Right, let's not concede here. Let's not get silly, but let's not concede. Let's, in fact, go for a second goal. They're going to send a guy up for the corner. They're not sending the keeper up for the corner. That's wild decision making. Why would you do that? I would have that goalkeeper in that box. I'd be trying to get this done. Right. It's end of 90 minutes. Keeper's walking back off the bench. That's an interesting style choice for you, manager of AS Taravao. Right. Keep working hard an extra time, and you'll be rewarded for you shall dine with the gods, my love. Best thing I've done since signing players from Dam in Spain, but that was FM26 as best. Beasain? I cannot pronounce that. I swear I can't read today. It's not like every day except today. I need to find a game changer. Payet is coming off for Pozo. Basque is hard. It's true. Which is weird because Catalan isn't. Right, that's headed clear. Liam to Ellis Watt, and that was an utterly pointless nod on, but it's okay because first and second Liam are going to combine to get us a winner in extra time. Mark my words, first and second Liam are on the task. Never let it be said that, oh Jesus Christ, Ziegler. Why you got to go ruin a good prognostication? Why you got to do that to me, son? What you doing, pal? Basque on 20 languages still in use. All of its relatives are extinct. Fair enough. That's some interesting knowledge. Why are we not doing better? Please, can we be doing better? Alright, sod it, I'm going full cheese. Full cheese. Everyone, attack. All of you. I don't care if you know how to attack or not. Just bloody attack. And then we haven't got the ball, right? This is well complicated, so try and keep up. I want you all to run backwards. I know, we're changing football forever. Avalanche originates from Basque. That's fun. Keeper distribution. Just bloody hoof it, mate. That's all I ask, really. It's just over opposition, hoof. Right. This is it, kids. This is where we do it. This is where we get an unlikely winner. Fair enough, Liam. That's good knowledge. It probably won't work for us, but we'll try it. And Basques do live in mountainous terrain. Here we go. Do a pair into the box. Headed away. Liam the second finds blow. That was let's be honest, shit. Well, we're out of the cup. We are out of the cup. That feels good. That feels great. I thought we were going to go on a run in the cup, but we are not going on a run in the cup. We are dead to the cup. We didn't even get to play in the Coupe de France because of the cup win last year. The transfer window is open in a week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Right? Nearly 2 weeks. Right, I'll be honest, guys. I am flagging, so I think we might call it a stream there. Thank you for being here. I will say goodbye to YouTube for now, just because of the way that things work. But much appreciate you being here, so thank you very much. I'm going to end YouTube now. And for our friends on Twitch, let's go and see a friend. We've got